Hello and welcome to the Press Room with WCN-TV, brought to you by the Wilson County News. We're your source for community and communication. I'm your host, Julia, the Marketing and Social Media Specialist here at the Wilson County News. In today's episode of the Press Room, we'll be covering the following topics. The U.S. Air Force Band of the West is planning their Holiday in Blue concert on December 20th and 21st of 2022. Reflecting on 2 years of community service with Floresville High School student Madison Harden, meeting the Elmendorf Community Library, and a special holiday story time with the Wilson County News editor Nannette Kilbey-Smith. You can subscribe to print, digital, or both editions of the Wilson County News at wilsoncountynews.com/subscribe, so you never miss an edition of your local newspaper. Feel free to follow us where you're watching today, so you're always up to date on the Press Room and our other WCN-TV news. First on today's show, we're talking with the U.S. Air Force Band of the West. Welcome to the Press Room.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. So let's talk about who you are, where you're from, and what you each do with the U.S. Air Force Band of the West.
I'm Master Sergeant Nick Wellman, and I'm originally from West Point, Nebraska. I've been in the Air Force for 22 years, and I'm an audio engineer for the different ensembles that we have, as well as being in charge of our administrative support.
Very cool.
I'm Airman First Class Mitchell Powers. I'm a guitarist in the Band of the West. I'm going on my second year in the Air Force, so still fresh. And I'm from Thompson, Georgia, and Master Sergeant Wellman talked about his other duties other than the music part. And what I usually tell people is I book the travel for a lot of our different groups. And then I also work with our publicity shop, working with social media and posts and stuff like that.
Very fun.
Yeah.
And I'm Airman First Class Jack McDonald. I'm a bassist in Band of the West. The other duties that I perform in the band are making sure that the other ensembles in the organization have vehicles to get to and from their gigs locally, so renting vehicles for them to use.
Awesome.
And I've been in the Air Force for about a year.
Awesome.
Where are you from?
Linden, Michigan.
Nice.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yes, of course.
All right. So we hear you have an upcoming concert. What is Holiday in Blue?
So Holiday in Blue is our annual celebration. So it's a way for us to engage with San Antonio and the surrounding communities, invite them to come out and share the holidays with us. And so it's an annual concert, like I said, but this year is a special one for us because it is the first live Holiday in Blue that we're going to be performing in over 2 years because of the pandemic. So we're really, really looking forward to getting back out into the community and performing live again. Yeah, we just hope that as many people can come out and join us as possible because we really enjoy playing live music for people.
How cool. And so when and where will the performance be held?
Yeah, so like I said, it takes place in San Antonio, and the concerts will actually take place on the 20th and the 21st of December at 7:30 p.m. And for all the other additional details, you can go to our website. So if you just Google search U.S. Air Force Band of the West, you'll find us there. We're the first result. You can also look us up on social media as well. So Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube are all places that we frequent quite a bit.
How cool. Okay. What kind of music will be featured at Holiday in Blue this year?
Our Holiday in Blue concerts are usually kind of a variety of all types of classic Christmas genres and performances. So we'll have some pop performances, some pop takes on some classics. We'll have pop takes on some Christmas classics. We'll have a very classical kind of sound of Christmas tunes, very orchestral. Well, we're mainly that'll actually be mainly like a wind ensemble. We don't have strings in this group performing on Holiday in Blue. But anyway, think of like your classic Boston Pops kind of Christmas performance. So very brass and woodwind heavy and just really kind of epic sounding.
Awesome. Yeah. Sounds like something to look forward to.
Yeah, of course.
Will there be other activities going on as y'all are playing, refreshments, anything like that?
As people are walking in, we will have an ensemble playing music for them as they're coming into the venue to attend the concert.
Yeah, We don't typically have refreshments at our concerts, but all of our concerts are free and open to the public. All that we ask is that you go and reserve a free ticket. And again, you can do that by finding us on our website, our social media, or you can search for Holiday in Blue at eventbrite.com. That's where we do the ticket distribution. As far as other events, we are constantly busy in the holiday season. So our groups are outperforming all throughout San Antonio and the Joint Base San Antonio military community. So we'll have groups going out and doing caroling around base for different organizations. This band, our group Top Flight, will perform for a lot of different military holiday parties and things like that. So the Band of the West stays very, very busy throughout the holidays. So those things aren't necessarily directly connected to Holiday in Blue, but they're ways that we continue to contribute to the military community and San Antonio as a whole.
Awesome. So you've got a lot of stuff that people can kind of look forward to from you. So why should folks come out to support the band at your Holiday in Blue concert or at any concerts?
Well, firstly, so the Band of the West and all military bands, we start our careers as musicians, as civilian musicians for the most part. And so that just kind of, we all have that, I don't want to say it's like innate, but it's that feeling of, we were just kind of born to perform. So
right.
We love to do that for the people and for very deserving audiences as well. Seeing as we are military bands, any support that you give us is in turn a support to the military in general. That's kind of one of our big things. One of our big stances is that we represent us specifically. We represent the Air Force in every performance that we do. So coming to support us is supporting your men and women in service in the U.S. Air Force.
And are there other ways people could support the band, say if they can't make it to the concert?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got, like Master Sergeant Wellman said earlier, we're very active on Facebook and Instagram and our YouTube. And on the 25th and the 26th of December, we'll be airing a series of Christmas performances on the local PBS channel KLRN, right? KLRN. And that's on the 25th at 6 p.m. and on the 26th at 10 p.m.
I think it's 6:30 on the 25th.
6:30.
But yes, 6:30 on the 25th, 10 p.m. on the 26th.
Yeah, so for those who can't make it to the live performance, that's a good option, is to just sit back at home, watch TV, sip on your eggnog, and watch some Christmas performances. Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Shoot, we might do both.
Hey, there you go.
Well, where can we go to learn more about the Air Force Band of the West and your upcoming concert as you have more details released?
Our social media, both Instagram, Facebook, those are all great places for getting information.
And then our public websites, again, the URL is a little bit long, so if you just Google search U.S. Air Force Band of the West or USAF Band of the West, you'll find us. We're the first link up there, and that'll direct you to our social media and give more information.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you so much for coming out and sharing about this. We hope that y'all are able to make their performance. They, again, are having one on the 20th and the 21st, both happening in San Antonio. If you can't make it, remember they'll be on KLRN on the 25th and 26th, so lots of Christmas spirit is being spread by the Band of the West this year. All right, thank y'all.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks.
The Band of the West also joined us this week on our WCN Live show, episode number 130, where they talked the band's history and importance and performed live holiday music. Watch WCN Live number 130 on our Facebook page at Wilson County News or find the direct link in this video's description. Here's a short clip. Next, we're talking with Floresville High School freshman Madison Harden. She's been involved with and running community service initiatives in the Wilson County area since 2021 when she was an 8th grader at Floresville Middle School. Welcome to the show, you two.
Thank you.
Of course. So, who are each of you, and what do you do outside of the community service that you've been involved in lately?
I'm Madison Harden. I'm 9th grade at Floresville High School. And the main things I do are play club volleyball, and I like to hang out with my friends a lot.
That's good.
I'm Pat Harden. I'm Madison's mom. Of course, I'm the driver to all these things that she likes to do. And so whatever they're involved in, then we are involved in also. So
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a full-time job being a chauffeur, huh?
It really is. Like we always say, these kids make plans. If they don't drive, they don't work. It's like, hey, take us there, take us,
Well, Madison, looking back to 2021, what spurred you to get involved in helping your community?
I just think there's always people in need, so I want to support anyone in need and help them out any way I can.
That's sweet. Yeah. So what has caused you to continue your efforts through 2022?
I think that there's always a season for need. It's not just like Christmas time. I feel like people need support or need help through the whole season, and so I think that's just what helped me continue to do it.
Absolutely. You see the need and you keep providing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what's made it possible for you to go out and do these things for your community?
The things that made it possible are the support of my family and friends, for sure. Like without them like donating the things I'm asking them to donate or helping me out, I wouldn't have what I have.
Makes a lot of
Yes.
sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's all a big community. So
It definitely is. So has being involved in your community helped you grow as a person?
Yes, it's made me be grateful for what I have, because I know not everybody has what I have, and so to be able to help them makes me really happy.
That's good. Yeah. And have you learned anything about your community or life in general through your service?
I've learned, like I said, just to be grateful for everything, take nothing for granted, because not everybody has it.
Absolutely. Even those simple things, right?
Mm-hmm.
yes, the simplest things.
And so would you encourage other young people to get involved, lend a helping hand, or give back in some way?
Yes, I would encourage everyone to, because the more people there is to help, the bigger and more people can get help.
That makes sense. So how would you recommend other young people get started?
Just start by doing little things, like
What was it, like fundraiser?
just little fundraisers, helping out at food pantry and child advocacy center, and donating things.
Awesome. And then from there you can kind of grow and build your own
Bigger things,
initiatives. Yeah. And so this is a question for you, Pat.
Yes.
As you've watched your daughter over the last couple of years, what have your thoughts been?
It's been really great because it opens not only her eyes, but all the kids, like she says, makes you grateful for what you have, but you're also able to help others in need in any way you can. But just seeing her and, help her community and even the community responding back, like she said, the support of her parents and her community, she holds coat drives, community is giving the coats, and so it just has, made me happy to see her, give back to her community. It's a small community. And so, the more people that you can get to help, the more people that will get the, help that they need in any way that they can.
Absolutely. Are you particularly proud of or happy for her for anything that she's done?
I really am, because she not only gives back to her community, she's, on and off, school activities that she does, she always gives 110%. And so when you have time, to give back to your community, you can. And we have tried to, get some of our friends, and some of our friends, to help out. And it's been a really great thing. So like I said, if you have more people to contribute to the community, your community would really, be excited about it and, get all the rewards also.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so, Madison, let's talk about your coat drive. It will have just ended when this video comes out. So, why did you decide to start the coat drive last winter?
I think since we're such a small community, and especially doing it for the school, a a lot of kids need coats, and especially when it gets cold, obviously. And so being able to collect coats from other people to donate to the school is really important.
Absolutely. What made you notice that need?
I think it's kind of just like a known need,
Yeah.
and like it's just something not everybody needs, but people in need. That's like one of the first things you think of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when you start getting that cold weather in, and it might, a lot of people ask, like, do you need new, used? And like you always say, you can't turn away any donations. Like, you can't turn away volunteers. And so what might not be new to you is new to someone else. And so for, just to see a smile on a kid's face or, thinking, hey, this is a new item to me, I think that in itself is a reward, for yourself, hey, I'm doing a great job because, they get something, that is not new to them, but, it is, something that they actually need.
Absolutely. And so what can you tell us about the success of this year's coat drive so far?
I think last year was a good start, but this year's even bigger, which is so amazing that I get to help out that many more people.
That's awesome. Well, do you have any more words or information that you want to share with the community before we wrap up for today?
If you can give in any way that you can, there's always food drives going on, especially this time of year. Like I tell her, like, the season never ends for giving. There's always, it's all year round, and particularly this time of year, when Thanksgiving comes around and Christmas, even more. Because you want to see, make sure that, families are being fed and they're being clothed. And even, we sponsor kids at Christmas time for those extra presents that they don't get, and so it's always like, if you can help in any way that you can, even if it's a can of food or, for the food pantry or a snack for the Children's Advocacy Center, any little bit helps. And we try to instill that, in these kids, not to take for granted, hey, you are going to get a meal, 3 meals a day, when some kids won't get that. And so if you can help in doing that, then, you're doing a great thing. So.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, congratulations on this year's coat drive and
Thank
success, and thank you for all that you do in our community. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Of course. Next, let's meet the Elmendorf Community Library. Representing the library today are 2 volunteer librarians, Melody and Darlene. Welcome to the press room, ladies.
Welcome. Thank you for having us.
Of course. So, who are you and what do you do at the Elmendorf Community Library?
I am Darlene Hicks. I'm the president, the founder, and volunteer. I also do caretaking for the library.
And I am Melody Pionzik, and I am a retired teacher, librarian, administrator from ECISD, East Central Independent School District. I also am on the library board, and treasurer, and volunteer, and I love to plan events.
Awesome. So you all both seem pretty busy.
Yes.
Very.
Yeah. So what exactly is the Elmendorf Community Library?
Okay, the library is a non-for-profit library that we started in the Elmendorf community because there were people there that had no internet. The closest library to us is here in Floresville, which is about 15 miles away or 12 miles away in San Antonio. So we opened that library. It is housed in the historic old brick factory from 1950, and then that building became City Hall for Elmendorf for a number of years. When it vacated, we asked the city, and they offered to let us use the building for a library. What we provide is we have books for people to check out. We have Wi-Fi, computers that they can borrow. We have a copy machine that they can scan, fax, or come in and download like their email, whatever they need to do like that.
Right.
We also have a notary. Melody is a notary, so she comes in and does that whenever people need it. We have children's programs, quite a few of those. Do story times. We do activities with the kids based on stories or just in general. we help people to try to find a job or try to go on the internet and help them assist with paperwork to do that.
The library started as a dream from this lady. So she gathered all her friends who love her, and that's where all the staffing comes in, is we are all just volunteers who have a heart for people who really, Elmendorf is a community that didn't have as many resources as other communities, so it started with that. But as we've now established, it's really open to anybody who would like a place to come and use a computer, print something, check out a book, just needs information,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you don't have to belong to Elmendorf or
No.
even the surrounding community. You can come from anywhere. We've had people come all the way from New Braunfels, Floresville, wherever, south side, southwest side, doesn't matter. There's no restrictions on that.
Awesome. So you're able to provide quite a lot of stuff. How are you able to provide all of those services?
Well, believe it or not, every single thing in the library has been donated out of the heart of community members, friends, the district, even librarians in the surrounding school district. It's called weeding your library when you delete books. We're one of the first people they'll reach out to say, can you use these books? And so we're constantly updating, and so donations and volunteers, that is completely how we operate.
Wow.
There's not one person
Right.
that is paid for anything.
That's
Right.
pretty amazing. And so are you currently accepting volunteers or donations to assist in keeping the library running or even adding more services?
Right. Every year, our board sits down and evaluates what can we do to expand, what do we need to do, what services are out there, what maybe we started with that we're not using much of, but maybe we find another area that we can use.
Right.
So we change it up. Volunteers all the time. We can always use volunteers because we have people who come in and when you volunteer at your own time. So if you can only come in for a half an hour or a half a day once a month, that's what you do. We have a schedule, and you just let us know where you can fill in. Some people come one day a month, so it doesn't matter. As far as volunteering, they can come in and just call us or come in and see us. We have them fill out an application. It's a very simple application, and they do all kinds of things around as far as reading to kids, checking out books, keeping the library up, such as that, opening and closing the library as they get more used to it. We do have a library program that's on the internet that we can go to catalog books and such as that, and they just learn different things like that. You do not have to have library experience. I knew nothing about the library when I started it. Luckily, Melody did the central part of her library, and now we have a lady who came from San Antonio who retired recently, and she's been helping us. So they're going through the books and going, this really doesn't really go here, it goes somewhere else. But
And we find a way to use people's strengths. So you've got some people who volunteer, and what they really want to do is come up with children's lessons and book stories. And we've got some people that volunteer who are really good at organizing. And some people volunteer and they're really good at the tech part. So it really is using the strengths of whoever would like to volunteer.
That's really awesome.
Yes.
Wow. So how would volunteers get in contact with you if they're interested in helping out?
Okay, they can come to the library, which is 203 Bear Avenue in Elmendorf, Texas. Or they can call us, and you'll be showing our phone number later. And they can call us and talk to us and say, and I've had people call and go, are you taking volunteers? And then they just show up and we start filling out their application and they start working for us.
Another source of volunteers we don't get as much as we'd like to, but it is available, is students needing community service hours. Since we do have Saturday hours, any student wanting to get community service hours, you might want to come and volunteer in our library.
Or even if you need community service hours for, as an adult, if you need community service hours. We take those too, and we're happy to work with you.
Awesome. Okay, so tell us about your upcoming Christmas open house. I understand that's happening next Saturday.
Yes, and you heard me say that I love planning events. So Saturday afternoon on December the 17th from 1 to 4, a come and go kind of opportunity to come. If you haven't seen the library, come see it. Get some hot chocolate, decorate a Christmas cookie, make a Christmas ornament craft. We've got all kind of fun things for you to do that day. We take every opportunity to make sure that community members, school district members, anybody, Floresville members will come check our library out and know what we have, what resources we have that we can offer. So Saturday, the 17th from 1 to 4, come drop by.
Awesome. And is this a free event open to the public?
It is totally free.
Awesome. And so for those that are wanting to learn more about the library, where should they go to do that?
We do have a website, which would be Elmendorf Community Library.weebly, weebly.com, or they can go to, we have a Facebook page, so we have that also. They can go to either one of those, or sometimes in the Wilson County News, we have things put in there, and so check it out. In fact, the event for Saturday is in this week's Wilson County News.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Well, did you have anything else that you wanted to share before we wrap up today?
I will tell you that we take opportunities to collaborate with others. For instance, last summer, East Central School District had the library parking lot as a lunch stop where families could come and get their children free lunches each day. So we love collaborating with others who have an event or have something that they would like to let us participate with. There's an elementary school that invites us to reading night and book night. We do that. So we really enjoy communicating and collaborating with others too.
And we have collaborated with East Central before, where they came out and did programs for us like puppets or bilingual programs. We also have a lady who's willing to do GED. She works with Palo Alto, and she'll come out and do GED classes.
That's amazing. Wow. So you heard them. If you're wanting to volunteer, if you're wanting to collaborate with them, or even if you're wanting to just go check out the library, give them a call, visit their website, or visit them in person. What are your hours?
We are open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday from 9 to 5.
Awesome. So you can visit them any of those days from 9 to 5. Look for more from them, and we hope that you can make it.
More volunteers, and we can have more days open.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Julia.
It's finally time for our holiday story time. Our editor, Nannette Kilbey-Smith, is joining us to read The Elves and the Shoemaker by the brothers Grimm.
The Elves and the Shoemaker by the brothers Grimm. There once was a shoemaker who worked very hard and was very honest. But still, he could not earn enough to live upon. And at last, all he had in the world was gone, save just enough leather to make one pair of shoes. Then he cut his leather out, all ready to make up the next day, meaning to rise early in the morning to his work. His conscience was clear, and his heart light amidst all his troubles. So he went peaceably to bed, left all his cares to heaven, and soon fell asleep. In the morning, after he had said his prayers, he sat himself down to his work. When, to his great wonder, there stood the shoes, already made, upon the table. The good man knew not what to say or think at such an odd thing happening. He looked at the workmanship. There was not one false stitch in the whole job. All was so neat and true that it was quite a masterpiece. That same day, a customer came in, and the shoes suited him so well that he willingly paid a price higher than usual for them. And the poor shoemaker, with the money, bought leather enough to make 2 pairs more. In the evening, he cut out the work and went to bed early, that he might get up and begin betimes the next day. But he was saved all the trouble, for when he got up in the morning, the work was done, ready to his hand. Soon in came buyers, who paid him handsomely for his goods, so that he bought leather enough for 4 pair more. He cut out the work again overnight, and found it done in the morning, as before. And so it went on for some time. What was got ready in the evening was always done by daybreak, and the good shoemaker soon became thriving and well off again. One evening, about Christmas time, as he and his wife were sitting over the fire chatting together, he said to her, "I should like to sit up and watch tonight, that we may see who it is that comes and does my work for me." The wife liked the thought, so they left a light burning and hid themselves in a corner of the room behind a curtain that was hung up there, and watched what would happen. As soon as it was midnight, there came in 2 little naked dwarfs, and they sat themselves upon the shoemaker's bench, took up all the work that was cut out, and began to ply with their little fingers, stitching and wrapping and tapping away at such a rate that the shoemaker was all wonder and could not take his eyes off them. And on they went till the job was quite done, and the shoes stood ready for use upon the table. This was long before daybreak, and then they bustled away as quick as lightning. The next day, the wife said to the shoemaker, "These little wights have made us rich, and we ought to be thankful to them and do them a good turn if we can. I'm quite sorry to see them run about as they do, and indeed it is not very decent, for they have nothing upon their backs to keep off the cold. I'll tell you what, I will make each of them a shirt and a coat and a waistcoat and a pair of pantaloons into the bargain, and do you make each of them a little pair of shoes." The thought pleased the good cobbler very much, and one evening, when all the things were ready, they laid them on the table, instead of the work that they used to cut out, and then went and hid themselves to watch what the little elves would do. About midnight, in they came, dancing and skipping, hopped around the room, and then went to sit down at their work as usual. But when they saw the clothes lying there for them, they laughed and chuckled and seemed mightily delighted. Then they dressed themselves in the twinkling of an eye, and danced and capered and sprang about as merry as could be, till at last they danced out the door and away over the green. The good couple saw them no more, but everything went well with them from that time forward, as long as they lived. The end.
That's all for today, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the Press Room with WCN-TV, brought to you by the Wilson County News. For more information about anything we mentioned in today's show, you can see the December 7th edition of the Wilson County News or visit wilsoncountynews.com. You can also find articles corresponding to each topic discussed today in this video's description. Remember to follow us where you're watching so you never miss an episode, and consider subscribing to receive the print, digital, or both editions of the Wilson County News each week. You can find more news, including free news resources, or subscribe at wilsoncountynews.com. Or download our app, Go Wilson, to receive updates from our newsroom at your fingertips. The app is available for Apple and Android devices at gowilsonapp.com. We hope you'll tune in next week for another episode of The Press Room, complete with another Christmas time story. We'll see you soon.